Here are 7 rare champions that you absolutely want to take to 6 stars in Raid Shadow Legends, except not really, because let's be real, most rare champions are actually quite situational, so just take these to 6 stars if you need them to fill a gap in a team comp for a specific bit of content. That's a better way of putting it, okay? Just quick disclaimer. At the end of the day, these are just rares, and there's always going to be a legendary, at least most of the time, that does the job better than them. But hey, of course, as you progress through the game, there's going to be some areas of content that you can only tackle using rare champs or champs of a certain affinity, stuff like that, secret rooms in Doom Tower, that kind of good stuff. And you know what? These rares can find value a long time in the future, so you probably want to hold on to them all the same, even if you're not using them just yet. This is actually the second video that we've done covering some notable rares that you probably want to level, and the champ names that you're seeing on screen right now are champs that we've already covered in the previous video in this happy little series. I want to invite you, of course, to drop any sweet rare champions down below in the comments that you feel like the rest of the community is sleeping on and are actually just pretty damn strong for a rare champ. And you know what? Why not subscribe while you're down there? That would be awesome. We're a new channel, and I could really use you on board. Alright, man. I might be a relatively new player, but dude, the power of Bellower is blatant to all. This is a rare support void champ for the Ogryn tribes, and dude, his every single ability is an attack all. That, like, first of all, is just, it's like the most obvious use that comes to mind is obviously campaign farmer, right? And while he is an excellent campaign farmer, I think it's like all of his skills have chance to apply various debuffs. Yeah, all of his skills have a chance to apply various debuffs. Put this guy in a damn stun set, give him plenty of speed, make sure he's got the accuracy, of course, to be landing those debuffs. And dude, this guy can scale into some of the craziest wave clear content into the late game. His A2 is pretty good, but to be honest, most of his power is kind of crammed into the A1 and the A3. The A1 frazzle and attack all enemies with fully bucked, a 30% chance of placing a block active skills debuff for 1 turn, just a nut job of an A1, and the A3 ball over attacks all enemies with a 100% chance of placing a decreased attack debuff for a couple turns, and in case that weren't enough, also places a 30% decreased defense debuff for a couple turns as well. The man just does everything. Crazy powerful rare. And to be honest, in spite of my disclaimer at the start saying, oh well, not all of these rares, you know, you want to take all the way to 60, this guy, if you're going to take any of these rares to 60, this is probably going to be your guy. What a Chad he is. And hey man, as a quick aside, if you haven't used our promo code yet with the GameLeap channel, then head into your promo codes menu and boom, input the code GameLeap to get yourself 10 experience brews, 100k silver, and a happy little energy refill. And hey man, if you're a new player starting out your Raid Shadow Legends adventure, make sure to do it via the promo link down below at the top of the description box to start off your fresh new account with a free epic champion and a ton of starting resources. The best way to kickstart your new Raid account, boys. Alright man, let's continue. From Bellower, a almost guaranteed max level 60 rare, to Judge, very situational max level 60 rare. So this is the first kind of rare on the list that you should only really be maxing out if you need him for a specific role, namely things like rare secret rooms in Doom Tower. Also gonna be pretty damn good against Spider as well though. By no means do you want to be rushing Judge to level 60. You might be maxing him out, I don't know, like 8 months, a year into your Raid Shadow Legends account, right? Just max him out if and when you need him for specific content. But I would recommend just holding on to him if you collect him along the way and just have him ready to roll. So you want Judge to be geared out, to be pimped out in crit, speed, and accuracy gear. Why is the crit important? Well, it's all really about his A2 and his passive. So the A2 is an attack all enemies 2 times, fill the turn meter by 10% for each critical hit. Against something like Spider, really good in wave content, obviously, but against something like Spider, this is basically just a free turn, which is just nuts. And if you think of it that way, it's kind of just reducing the cooldown of Blade Dance by 1 turn, which is excellent if you can get that full turn meter refill. But most importantly, this son of a gun attacks 2 times. Why is that so good? Well, if you check out his passive, with each hit, it has a 30% chance of placing a strong decreased accuracy debuff, or a decreased speed debuff, or a strong decreased attack debuff, decreased defense debuff. It can debuff anybody with anything. So, dude, the more this guy is swinging with his A2, the more debuffs he's spamming out. And I mean, that's it really. He's just a debuff spam machine. Again, very situational. You don't want to rush this guy to 60 unless you actually need him for some specific line of content, but he's a damn good one to keep in your back pocket. And honestly, there's a lot of rare champions that are like this that you want to kind of keep in your back pocket. I don't know all of them. I don't have all the answers. Drop some down below, man, if there's some rares that have really come in big for you in things like Doom Tower Secret Rooms as your account has matured, man. It'd be really, really cool to know. So another super situational rare champ that you probably want to keep in your back pocket is Metal Shaper of the Lizard Men faction. Why Metal Shaper? The guy has almost no reviews. What's all this about, dude? And even his ratings look really, really bad on the surface of things, but I swear to God, he has a really, really good niche use, right? Metal Shaper's niche use is Scarab King in Doom Tower. Scarab King gets all kinds of extra attack mechanics and just all around nasty stuff if he's attacking into any champion that does not have a shield buff active. This is where Metal Shaper comes in. His A2 places a shield buff on all allies for 2 turns, and the value of the shield is proportional to this champion's level. The important thing here is, fully booked, this son of a gun has a 2-turn cooldown and lasts for 2 turns. We're talking permanent shield, which is a huge deal to have. In just one champ's kit, being able to take care of this problem completely against Scarab King, it's a damn luxury. Okay, hold on a Metal Shaper. Is he going to be good on your account at all before Scarab King? No, he's not. He's garbage, right? This is one niche use, but just hold on to this son of a gun precisely for this fight. Unless, of course, you find a better option along the way, which is also entirely possible. But you know what I'm saying. Now for a champion that I'm actually much less sure about, and this is Longsword Torux. He's actually very new to the game. He's of the Knights Revenant faction, a rare defense champion. And dude, his kit comes together to be something kinda cool, man. Okay, so his A1, very tank-based champ, right? Attacks one enemy, has a solid chance when booked, replacing a leash debuff for a couple of turns, which is great and gets a lot better with his passive, just hold on for that, right? His A2 is an attack all on a 3-turn cooldown, fully booked before attacking, places a increased defense buff on allies for a couple of turns, and most importantly, has a, what is this fully booked? Is it like 60% chance of placing a provoke, 65% chance of placing a provoke debuff for 1 turn. Now, why is this so good? Dude, check out this passive, man. Places a block damage buff on this champ for 1 turn if the incoming damage exceeds 20% of this champ's max HP. Fair enough, whatever. The passive effect, man. Counter attacks when hit by an enemy under a provoke debuff. Why is this so good? Because again, dude, he has leech on his A1, man. So if he's counterattacking constantly while, you know, he's having provoked an entire wave of enemies with his A2, and they're all swinging into him, you best believe he's healing back a lot of that damage by just kind of spamming out the A1, spreading leech like crazy. Is this guy good enough to hold on to eventually max level 60 this guy? I don't know, honestly, probably not, but at the same time, I wouldn't be so quick to use this guy as food. Just see how he does, see if you find a spot for him a little bit later on. I think this is the only guy in the list that I'm not actually completely sure about, but hey, be interesting to see what you guys think about this nerd down below, man. Next up, we have an extremely reliable provoke tank in the form of the Skinwalker's HB champ, Nalhorn. Dude, this guy has both an unkillable buff on this guy on a 3-turn cooldown, which is kind of crazy, as well as a AoE provoke, which, by the way, cannot be resisted. It simply places a provoke debuff on all enemies for 1 turn. God, I just noticed actually it's 1 skill book to max up his A2, only 2 skill books to max up the A3, and even the A1 doesn't take that much. Like, these are kind of crappy, right? Just increased damage, but really easy to kind of pump this guy up with skill books or copies or whatever and kind of get him maxed out, which, by the way, is a big kind of unspoken benefit of rares, right? It's just much easier to fully ascend and to pimp out all of their skills with skill bucks and just get them to where they need to be. Much cheaper than doing so with epics and legendaries, that is. Anyways, Nalhorn is another guy that you probably don't want to take to 60 right away, despite what the thumbnail says. Oh god. You know, man, YouTube rewards clickbaity thumbnails way too much. I'm sorry, boys. Truth is, like most rares, Nalhorn is another rare that is situational as to whether or not you want to take him to 60. He finds some use in some Doom Tower rooms. He's really good. Actually, do the reviews reflect this? Okay, yeah. Phantom Shogun's Grove. This guy finds all kinds of value. Phantom Shogun, of course, the boss is applying all kinds of enfeeble debuffs and stuff like that. Yeah, Nalhorn just doesn't care about those at all. This attack cannot be a strong crit or a weak hit, and so his A1 gets that consistent value. And all round, that's Nalhorn. Just a very, very, very reliable tank, as long as you're playing him in the right content, that is. Alright, dude, I tell you what, man, Barbarians, when it comes to a faction, dude, Barbarian is so front-loaded with really, really good uncommons, insofar as uncommons can be good, of course, and rare champs, like, oh my god, man. And in this one, we're going to be focusing in on Soul Bond Boya. Smack this champ in an accuracy and control set, like a stun set, something like that, dude, and the A1 does all the work for you. Not really, but it's really, really good. Attack all enemies with an additional 25% chance of inflicting a crit. Just really, really good. This is another one of those champs... I sound like a damn broken record at this point, but another one of those champs that's a little situational. Of course, rare only rooms in Doom Tower. Spirit only rooms also in Doom Tower. This champ can find a hell of a lot of value, so the A1 is pretty tight. The A2 is an attack one enemy, has a 25% chance of inflicting a crit. An additional, 25% chance of inflicting a crit, and will ignore 75% of the target's defense, so she's got a little bit of nuke potential as well. And the A3 is where it gets serious, okay? I was about to curse, man, I'm getting excited. Attacks one enemy, again, that additional 25% crit chance, has a 75% chance, bookable all the way up to 100, of fully depleting the target's 10 meter. Crazy as hell. The value you can get on this gal is clear for all to see. And because all of her skills have that plus 25% crit chance, you can build her to just have that 75% crit rate. You don't have to overinvest and pour like a ton of crit into this gal. You can just get her up to 75% and her skills will do the rest. And that means that you can invest some stats into other useful stuff. Again, spirit only rooms, rare only rooms in the Doom Tower. Hold on to this gal. Will you be using it that much in the early game? Well, probably not, but yeah. Just keep her in your back pocket for if and when you need her. I will note that, oh my god, she takes a lot of skill books that does like a lot of useless stuff to her A1 and her A2. Well, not useless, right? She is like damage based and all, so it's not completely wasted to have plus damage on her, but it's a lot of skill books to get this Soul Bond Boya all the way maxed out, which is, I don't know, annoying, but whatever, man. Moving on. And finally, let's wrap things up with an absolute clan boss queen. In fact, I mean, look at the reviews, actually. 28,000 reviews on this gal. Yeah, Demon Lord, she absolutely spanks. Okay, so Frozen Banshee, I think, okay, yeah. Poison Sensitivity is the name of the game with Frozen Banshee. Attacks one enemy 2 times on a A1 each hit with a 100% chance, fully bucked, of placing a 5% poison debuff, strong poison debuff too, if the target is under a poison sensitivity debuff, which I think it's a A3 that does that. Attacks one enemy, places a strong poison sensitivity debuff for 2 turns. Actually, scratch that. It's a weak poison sensitivity debuff, but it's still pretty damn good, right? Frozen Banshee, obviously an excellent economy choice for taking down Clan Boss. You can honestly pair the Banshee with another poison champ as well, just to really cash in on maximizing poison damage, right, with the poison sensitivity debuff. The value you can get out of her is crazy as hell. Probably one of the best rare poisoners in the game. Rivaled only by that new demon spawn champ, Petrifia? Something like that she's called. Maybe we'll cover her in the next video, man. They're actually very, very similar, Frozen Banshee and Petrifia. Slam this gal in some accuracy gear. She'll help you out with clan boss progression. Will she eventually be replaced? Of course she will. You know, most rares in the game eventually get replaced, but there you go. Is she worth taking to 6 stars? You know what? Probably. If I got Frozen Banshee, I'd probably take it to 6 stars because my account is still quite fresh. And I think that's about gonna do it, boys. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to go ahead and drop some comment action down below and subscribe to this channel while you're down there as well. That'd be awesome. Make sure, if you are starting off a fresh Raid Shadow Legends account, that you do so by clicking the link down below at the top of the description box to start off your account with a free epic champ and a ton of starting goodies. I have been Cobb with Game Leap. I want to thank you all for watching. Do enjoy the rest of your day, and I shall catch all of you guys just a tad bit later, man.